Picture this: two women sitting in a cafe, laughing, taking selfies, posting bestie forever with heart emojis. To the outside world, it's friendship, but underneath something colder moves. One is watching the other's new ring, new confidence, new glow. She smiles, but her brain registers a threat. The dopamine hit of being adored has been replaced by the cortisol spike of competition. Every woman talks about sisterhood, but every man who's watched long enough knows there's a storm beneath the smiles. What I'm about to tell you isn't hatred, it's biology. It's the emotional marketplace they were born into and trained to survive in. Thousands of years ago, a woman's survival didn't depend on hunting or muscle, it depended on placement. Her safety came from being desired, chosen, protected, and in that ancient world, other women weren't friends. They were rivals in disguise. So the female brain evolved for social warfare, not physical combat. While men competed through dominance, women competed through perception. Their biology learned subtlety. Instead of fists, they used smiles. Instead of confrontation, they used communication as camouflage and as a weapon. Even today, her limbic system reacts to another woman's beauty the same way our ancestors reacted to predators, with alertness, calculation, comparison. She doesn't choose this reaction. It's programmed. But make no mistake, it still drives her behavior. On the surface, female friendships seem nurturing, full of comfort and empathy. But deep down, a different mechanism operates: emotional mirroring for data collection. They listen closely, not always to understand, but to measure, to calibrate status, to gauge who's rising, who's falling. Every compliment carries subtext. "You look amazing today" really means, "I'm checking if I still outshine you." Every secret shared becomes a potential weapon stored deep in memory for when emotional advantage is needed. Case study 1. A woman confides in her best friend about her boyfriend's flaws. Weeks later, that same friend flirts with him subtly, not out of attraction, but out of curiosity. Can she take what her friend has? Case study 2. A girl group praises one friend's promotion, then immediately shifts to "must be nice jokes." Laughter hides envy. Envy hides fear. Fear hides hierarchy. Because in the emotional economy of female friendships, validation is currency, and everyone wants to feel rich. The supportive friend who always adds a backhanded compliment: "You're so confident for someone your size." The one who celebrates your failures louder than your wins. The friend who always wants to talk about your problems, but never about hers. The constant joking competition about looks, love, or attention. The mysterious tension when one woman walks in, glowing with new energy, and everyone else gets quiet. These are not accidents. They are micro displays of dominance, the same way wolves show teeth without biting. Psychologically, it's survival. Social ranking releases dopamine. Losing position triggers anxiety. That's why even among friends, one must always be above the other, because modern society industrialized the same instincts. Social media turned validation into a marketplace. Empowerment became competition disguised as inspiration. The same girl posting "support your sisters" is subconsciously scanning who got more likes on her post. They were told to love themselves but conditioned to compare themselves. They were told to uplift women but rewarded for outshining them. The sisterhood slogan sells lip gloss and feminism, but it doesn't sell truth, because real solidarity doesn't generate clicks, comparison does. Every emotional economy eventually collapses, because envy is debt, and the more it builds, the heavier it becomes. At some point, the balance breaks. One friend finds success, the other can't hide her discomfort. One gets engaged, the other vanishes. One becomes happier, and the friendship starts to rot in silence. Case study 3. Two college friends, inseparable for years. But when one becomes confident, loses weight, and starts attracting attention, the other turns distant, masked as busy. What died wasn't friendship, it was the balance of power. That's how it always ends, not in argument, but absence. The garden of secrets becomes a graveyard of resentment, and both will pretend it just faded. But truthfully, it was competition all along. Every man should understand this. Many women don't build friendships for connection. They build them for reflection. They seek mirrors that affirm their image, not minds that challenge it. Real sisterhood exists, but it's rare because it requires humility, not hierarchy. And in a world built on attention, humility is extinct. That's why when one woman heals, her friends often fall away, because their bond was never built on peace, it was built on shared pain. And when the pain ends, so does the relationship. It's not evil. It's not malicious. It's simply the system running its code. So what do we do with this truth, brother? We don't judge. We observe. We understand that female psychology isn't chaos, it's strategy. And that's okay, because when you see it clearly, you stop being manipulated by the illusion. You stop expecting purity where competition exists. You stop confusing warmth for loyalty. You stop resenting what's simply biology.